What is up? Okay, let's just wait and make sure that this is showing up in alignment. Yeah, we are live. We are live. Okay, let me just get my phone up and running too, because sometimes the comments don't show up in the back end of Facebook. So I'm like, I'm just honoring all the things. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. Here we are. Monday, July the 1st. For all my Canadians out there, happy Canada Day. For all my American friends, happy Independence Day this week. In Costa Rica, the 7th is Independence Day here. So we'll be celebrating that this weekend. These 2 weeks in between, like literally today, all the way for 2 weeks, the kids are off on like spring break here. They start their school year in the winter time. Like January is this, or February actually, school year start. They get like a month off at Christmas, which is really cool. The dynamics are completely different living in this country, and you've heard me speak into this if some of you have been in my world for a while. The things that I'm learning about life being here in Costa Rica and like how it's changed how I show up in the world and how I do life, you know. And it's like my body's in goosebumps. I breathe into this space for you to actually feel this today and understand. Well, there's energy moving through that a lot. Oof. And I can feel this in my heart for some of you that you are definitely knee deep in some stuff right now. And you are floating through the old school way of doing because you think that that's the only way that you can get through the stuff that you're going through. And I want to say to you today that that's not true. That the way we used to do life is no longer potentially relevant to the way that you are desiring to do life. And if you've done any work over the last few years, meaning like shadow work, any spiritual activation work, if you've been in any of my programs or offerings ever at all over the last year, you are knee deep in the work. And I just want to say that, and I'm not saying that from a perspective of my ego. I'm saying that from a perspective of I am clear about what I'm meant to do in this world. And some days it's really challenging to be in my energy field, to watch content move through, to explore your edges, because a lot of this work dismantles the things that we think we know to be true. And it allows us to feel, to see, to be in a whole different energetic field if we actually allow that to happen. And the challenge that we go into as these humans, and especially with some of you that might be moving through right now, is that we want it to be a certain way. And that's the control mechanism that moves through our field, that it can't be a certain way. That our whole dismantling of humanity is to release the things that we think we know and to actually step into the mechanism that's moving through us in the purity of that light, and to actually trust and surrender and be able to let go of the things that are no longer vibrationally aligned with us. And it's hard. I know it is. And every day it's hard to keep shifting the mentality and the mindset and the worry and the doubt and the struggle and the chaos and all the things, even though we want to. But there's something in us that keeps restricting us from actually fully stepping in and embodying that. And I want to ask you that question today, to be like, what is that for you? You know, what is that? If you were to get really honest with yourself, it's like, well, I'm really actually scared to do this on my own. Or I have this like fear that people will disown me, or that this will happen in the space of things, or that will do this, or that will do this. And it's like, if we drop back into the essence of who we actually are, and we allow ourselves to actually drop back into the purity of this light within us, we will always be held and taken care of, and we will never be alone. Ever, 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 ever be alone. Ever. Our guides, our teams, our deities we work with are all here. The loved ones that have passed over, they hold a certain regard and space, our ancestors. We are never alone. But physically, sometimes we see it that way, where we don't realize the dynamic of what's actually moving through the field, and we don't breathe into that space. We are never alone. Ever. Our guides are always here. They actually are contracted to be here. They can't actually leave. Sometimes we can't reach them because maybe there's an energetic field that's moving through this that we can't actually feel, see, and be. within, or someone's blocking our energies from actually tapping back in because we've allowed energy into our field, or we were playing in a different dynamic and we didn't protect ourselves in the mechanism of things. But I really just want you to feel today this experience of what is your truth. What is your truth? What does this mean for you? You know, this week in the world was coined a freedom-oriented week. Now, it was guised up to be in a certain way of a governmental systems of dropping in and a governmental systems of control, which we can honor and look at and see through all the veils of that. But it's like, if we actually look at what Canada Day represents, it represents freedom. And if we look at what Independence Day in the United States on July 4th or Independence Day in Costa Rica on July 7th represents, it represents freedom, our sovereignty. Now, the infrastructures of the government want you to follow their rules. However, if we really lean into spiritual sovereignty today and ask ourselves the question, am I actually liberated and free? Most of us are going to say no. Because we are trying to be instead of remembering that we are. And when we live in the energy of freedom, that I get to liberate myself from infrastructures, from avenues, from all the things, that's where it comes into play. But our job and goal, as it always has been, is to literally dismantle all of this mechanism in the field and to say yes to our lives. Yes to the way I want to live. Yes to the homestead. Yes to growing my own food. Yes to the deep love and connection. Yes to the impact. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's all those things, and maybe it's none of those things. But there's something that's been coming up in your field right now that is like, yes. Yes, yes, yes. What is it? Yes. And how can you start to liberate yourself from this? How can you start to step into this space? How can you start to actually be in this energetic field? How can you actually start to play in the mechanism of this? And these are some potent questions. And I know the work isn't easy, guys. Like, I get it. I get it. It's simple work, though. It's just not easy. Because our emotions as humans, the belief systems that have been embedded, the ancestral energies that we're clearing within the field have been rooted in, and we are moving an energy through right now. We are. Right here, right now, in all of its potency, we're moving an energy field through right now. And I just ask you today to ask yourself the questions. Are you potently aligning in your sovereignty? Are you actually choosing it every single day to wake up in your choice of life? Because that's what it is. Today I chose to wear my bandana for you. I feel really connected to this. I actually straightened my hair, which you wouldn't be able to tell because the humidity's already gotten to it. But I did do that. I straightened my hair today. I chose to step up and to be here. I chose to record the summit interview this morning that I did. I chose to make the post today. I chose to send out the email this morning. I chose to be all in today, to trust in the flow of the universe. I am waiting today for God, for the universe to amaze me in the potency of possibility. I know it's going to happen. My body's in goosebumps. I trust it's going to happen. I trust the timing's going to work, and I'm just going to watch it drop in to be like, there it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How can I make a decision today to decide that this week, this day, this month, this year, this quarter, whatever it is for you, will be the quarter, the week, the month, the day that I liberate myself? And then I'll make another choice next week, next month, and then I'll make another choice tomorrow. But what if every day you could feel liberated? What if every day was Independence Day in your life? What if every day you celebrated who you were as a person and the work you get to do in the world and how you show up in the space of things? What if every day that could be true? Then what? Would your life change? Would things maneuver forward for you? Would it be different? I don't know. So there's something to consider today, and this is the message dropping into the field of awareness for us to consider. I love asking questions because each one of us is moving through our own stuff, moving through our own perceptions, moving through our own calibration. And this is a way that we get to explore the edges of this. What does this mean for you? Let's play with that today. I'll see you guys all again soon, and I hope you guys have a beautiful expanded energy this week, whatever that means for you as you move through life. And I'm just grateful to be alive in this experience alongside of you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everybody.